Hi, I'm Christian Greenwood, and this is My Nova Scotia. Enjoy amazing live music around Halifax at the TD Halifax Jazz Festival, July 8th to the 16th. From July 17th to the 24th, it's the Halifax Pride Festival. And if you're like me, you can never get enough golf. It's the best way to see some of Nova Scotia's most beautiful scenery. Visit novascotia.com to plan your vacation. Our greens are awesome. So when are you coming?
Oh, baby, who's that loser? Welcome to another edition of Dangle Betselli, powered by FTN Bets, presented by PointsBet Canada, right here live on our FTN Network YouTube page. Chris Meaney back again with you guys. Missed you, EY in the house, of course. Eric, I thought you did a fantastic job the other day. I had some flight issues. I was very frustrated to miss the show, to miss my hockey game the night before, but you calmed me down. I landed in Halifax, had about an hour and a half drive, and listened to you the entire way. Trash my Canadians, and Deanna and I were just in stitches laughing at you. Welcome in, everybody. It's a busy slate again here in the NHL. 12 games on the ice. We're just a couple weeks away from the actual playoffs. What's going on, dude? How are you, man? You like that commercial?
I'm good, and I love the greens in Nova Scotia. I mean, that's what's most important is that I'm the world's. A lot of people say like I'm a bad golfer, but I mean, you would be embarrassed of me. Like
really?
you would be embarrassed.
It's a tough sport.
I play once a year. I don't own my own clubs.
Wow.
My elbows are destroyed. I'm half crippled from wrestling and abusing myself. I would be better if I threw it. Like, honestly, and that's not exaggerated at all. It's once a year I gotta suck up the pride and raise money for the Preds and show up and pretend like I'm a celebrity and like people know who I am and golf with them. They never know who I am.
Right. You get to golf with the Preds.
It's always
and you're
awkward.
The celeb. They're not the celebs. You are. They're all excited to see you.
No, see, they're the celebs because it's the Preds golf tour. So then rich people pay a bunch of money to play with the Nashville Predators. They have teams of 4, and then every team is designated a celebrity, and they all want to play with the players. And then I get assigned to a team, and you can just see the absolute disappointment as I walk up, and because they don't know who I am, right? There's no wrestling fans golfing at Vanderbilt Legends Golf Club, right? It's a private club. It's big money. They raised a ton of money for Parkinson's disease and a bunch of other things that the Preds Foundation does. By the second or third hole, we're laughing and having a good time, but it's really awkward for me. And then I start golfing, and it's even worse. So
I'm a big golf fan. I get over 100 rounds in the summer. Our guy George, when he's not busy making boards and graphics, which he always is. This guy's 3-putting for par while making a shot prop board for me at the same time. He's just an absolute legend. Diehard MMA podcast in the house. Feel like going to Nova Scotia now for some strange reason. Yeah, I did that commercial years ago. I used to work at a classic rock station, and I was just on site. People were trying out to audition for a Nova Scotia tourism commercial, and there were just so many brutal ones, like so many brutal auditions. And not that I thought that I was any good, but nobody was talking about the great things about Nova Scotia. We do have some really good golf courses. Got some great wineries. Any vino drinkers out there? Some great wineries in Nova Scotia. Beautiful scenery. So, that's what I talked up. And sure and behold, it was I was there. And Nova Scotia tourism commercial. And George loves to bring that up, that commercial. So it was always a good laugh to talk about that as well. So 12 games to get into. I want to say what up to everybody here. Matthew Bingham in the house. Good morning and happy Thursday, DBC family. Good morning to you, sir. Since Meaney missed Tuesday, I think we needed a 2-hour show today. UI crushed it solo. He did crush it solo. He really did a great job. But still, Chris, you got to make good, buddy. I loved when you were just like into the Rangers. You were talking about the Rangers, and then you had a sheet of all your picks, and you're just like, where's the Rangers? Did I miss the Rangers? You rolled through all the Rangers, but you made it work. You did a great job. Troy in the house. I had a $200 free bet on the Blue Jackets versus the Caps. Absolutely buzzing. I'm loving Line at center. He won 56% of his faceoffs versus Washington because he was drilled with Sean Corrali to sharpen up. He was drilled by. Okay, giddy up. All right. Blue Jackets, man. That was a crazy game. Lots of offense in that game. And Matthew's commenting on that as well. Pure fire wagon hockey, Troy. 13 combined goals, 76 combined shots. Heck, there was even a goalie assist. Over bettors from prop totals. Loved that one. Yeah, jumped on the NHL Fantasy on Ice podcast this morning with Nick Alberga and Pete Jensen. We talk a lot about the Blue Jackets, right? Just a sneaky team that's, some of their star players are playing really good over the past couple of weeks. And if you need some help in fantasy hockey land, like those, some of those guys are certainly available. You and I chatted before we got on. I asked you who leads the NHL in 5-5 scoring since February 1st. It's Clayton Keller. Not
of course, it's Clayton Keller.
Connor McDavid. It's Clayton Keller. And Barrett Hayton extended his point streak to 9. We had that as a free bet last night over at ftnbets.com. Yeah, fantastic game, right? Troy, what's up? Bingham, what's up? Clint, Diehard MMA podcast. What is going on here? Welcome in. We do have a lot to get to. We have Robert and Denson in the house as well. EY, have fun at the freak out on Friday. Have one for your boy. I've got a 5-year-old soccer to coach. He's going to miss out.
I will be in the house, the home base freak out too. I wasn't part of organizing it. That's a long story for another time, but my buddy Crazy Charlie and all the boys from Renegades of Puck are going to be there hosting a party. Pekarine's kind of retirement ceremony. They're putting his statue up on Saturday, I believe. They just buried Pecorine time capsule in front of the arena. And listen, I'm wearing my UC Saros jersey because the Preds are not mathematically eliminated somehow, some way. And they're going to mess around and get in the playoffs, and I'm going to end up having to quit all of my jobs and go to the games.
They still have some games in hand, right? 3 on the Jets. The Jets have a very winnable hockey game here tonight, though. Okay, so speaking of the standings, before we really get into it, something we just like to do off the top, just kind of a little bit of a refresh here, get our feel on, just a couple weeks left, man, before it's go time. The Bruins still up at the top with a $1.13. Toronto and Tampa, we've known that these two teams are going to play each other for quite some time, 93 and 90. The Leafs have 2 games in hand on the Bolts, and they're up 3 points. So it looks like they're going to have game 1 at Scotiabank Place. Carolina, big win against the Rangers the other day. They're going to play them again here. The Devils are just 2 points back, but Carolina does have 2 games in hand, and the Rangers are 6 back of the Devils. And the Islanders, right? We counted the Islanders out about a month ago, especially when Matthew Barzal went down, but most teams have now caught up to them in terms of games in hand, and they're coming in pretty hot. They spanked your Leafs the other day. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. They've won 3 straight. They have 82 points. The Penguins, a big win last night against the Colorado Avalanche. They're in action again tonight against the Dallas Stars, and they're 2 points back. So it's now really a 3-team race. I was in Washington on Friday, Capital One Arena, St. Paddy's Day. Great time, great venue. Atmosphere was actually really good despite Washington not playing good hockey. Jordan Kyrou was the best player on the ice. He stood out to me. The second best player on the ice was Jacob Vrana. He had a beautiful primary assist, set up Kyrou in a breakaway goal, had a breakaway himself and just missed. But Washington laid an egg there, did not play good hockey. And then, the game against the Blue Jackets. So missing John Carlson has really hurt them. They've sold at the deadline. I think that they're done with 74 points, 72 games. It seems like a 3-team race here for those 2 wildcard spots with the Islanders, the Pens at 80, the Islanders at 82, and the Florida Panthers at 79. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10, playing really good hockey, but a brutal loss to the Flyers the other day. The trendy teams, the Sens, the Sabres, the Red Wings, they made noise in the offseason. A lot of people were talking about them getting in. I think if you're a fan of those teams, you have to be pretty happy with the step forward. Ottawa building, a good top 6. They got Stars and Stützle and Brady Tkachuk, bringing in DeBrincat, bringing in Jacob Chikrin, Thomas Chabot. Let's continue to build. If you're a Senators fan, they need to improve their goaltending. The Sabres took a massive leap forward. They have no good goaltending at all. Losing Linus Ullmark, just, oh my goodness. Imagine if they kept him. I like the direction. They need to figure it out in goal. They just don't have the answer. Detroit, Ville Husso was good last year. I think an outlier year. I think Lucas Raymond took a step back, but there's still some really good players. Disappointing season from Andrew Kopp. Not a whole lot from David Perron. Those teams just really did falter down the stretch. If you were to pick one of those 3, Ottawa, Buffalo, or Detroit, know, a lot of people, Eric, were picking them to make the playoffs this year. You could pick one of the three, maybe next year to make the playoffs. Who would you give the benefit of the doubt to?
Is there any question?
Yeah,
it's the Ottawa Senators.
But I had to ask. The answer is Buffalo, though, I think.
Yeah, and I love the Sabres too. And the truth is the Red Wings are super compelling. And I've been talking about it since Yzerman went over there. This team will be right. And you know, it's not that far off. There's a ton of young players. It's the same with all the three teams. You know, I mean, I think Ottawa is most set up to win right now, and I think that winning really starts next season. And I will be betting on them to make it to the playoffs. I did this year too, but I will be betting on that next season, and we'll be betting on them to play for the Stanley Cup. I'm not saying that that's a guarantee. The odds will be good, and I just think, especially with Jacob Chychrun coming over, like that deep core is legit. You know, by adding one player like that, it's legit. You know, it's a very, very skilled team, and I think next year is going to be a big deal. I mean, Stützle has made a massive jump this season.
He's a superstar.
Yeah. He's a superstar, and it is going to continue to be. I believe he's going to be one of those players where, I mean, he's not on the McDavid trajectory, but it's like you think like, oh, he's a superstar, and then next year he's better. You got to remember, he's a child. I mean, he's a kid.
He's just a kid,
and he's only going to get better.
Yeah, and he already has the Sens franchise record for the most goals in the first couple seasons. So he passed Daniel Alfredsson last week. Yeah, he's been fantastic. I would agree it's probably Ottawa. Let's figure out in goal. But really like the moves that they've made.
That's what they got to make some moves, right? They got to get a goaltender.
In the Central, real tight, man. Dallas at 90, Minnesota at 90, Colorado at 88. The Avs have a game in hand there. The Avs have won 7 of 10. The Wild have won 7 of 10. Missing Kaprizov. This team's all of a sudden scoring goals, but like a really strong 1-2 punch in net over the last 2 months. The Pacific as well. Vegas has won 8 of 10. The Kings have won 8 of 10. The Oilers have won 8 of 10. Vegas is at 94. LA at 92. And the Oilers at 90. The Kraken at 85 and the Jets at 83 of the wild card spots. And you got the Flames there at 79. And then your Preds at 78 as well. So maybe a 4-team race for those final 2 spots, but I do believe it's going to be the Kraken and the Jets that do get in. So let's get after it here today, and we will start with a lopsided affair in Montreal. Let me find that beautiful board that we do have from our guy George, Jake DeBrusk, and Kirby Doc, letting the Blackhawks fans hear it from a shootout winner earlier this season. He returned to the lineup just the other day on Tuesday, and he hit the score sheet. Brendan Gallagher returned. You know, as a Canadians guy, you know, I know these guys want to play hockey here down the stretch, but I wouldn't mind if they didn't, with the big picture in hand here with Connor Bedard. But this is the most lopsided affair here on the board. The Bruins check in at minus 385. In some spots, they're minus 450. The Canadians are plus 335. I don't suggest anyone, you know, this time of the season, we have seen a lot of upsets. Arizona's actually been one of the better teams in the NHL over the last 2 months. They're playing really good hockey. You know, a lot of these kids are getting an opportunity to play, so the energy is there with some of these teams that are near the basement. So we have seen some upsets. Guys are playing for contracts, things like that. Maybe teams up at the top take their foot off the gas against certain squads, but I can't imagine the Canadians going into TD Garden tonight and pulling off a victory. But Jake DeBrusk is a guy that we've just been talking about all year. Certainly I have. We had a free bet the other day for him to hit the score sheet. He scored a goal in the first period, a nice first period cash. He's minus 150 for a point. It's a little bit more juice than last time around on Tuesday where he's minus 110, but he's been shooting. A lot of shot props are juiced. Hard to get behind some of these, but Jake DeBrusk at 2.5. I'm into DraftKings at minus 125. He's plus 170 for an apple. You can go on Bet365 and go Jake DeBrusk, Brad Marchand, and Patrice Bergeron all to hit the score sheet. You're going to get around plus 200 for that one. And I see some guys talking about the puck line. I mean, it's really tough to pick a team to win by 3. If you want to, sure, that's probably the play in terms of sides here. BetMGM has plus 105 for the Bruins to win by 3, but even that is not fantastic. For a team to win by 3 goals, you're only getting plus 105. I don't love it, but I could see the Bruins here winning like 4-1, 5-1, especially if it's Montembeault between the pipes, but I do believe we'll see Jake Allen. I know you got some goal scorers. But like me, I'm really targeting the top line at DFS, and I really like Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah, I had DeBrusk to score on Tuesday. I'm going away from him. I'm going with Pasta, and I can see that Troy and Clint are talking about it. Marchand, I feel like he scores every time he plays Montreal. So I'm going with Pasta at -150 on DraftKings and Marchand at +125. The Montreal side, I'm going to go Doc at 245, +245, and Hoffman. Hoffman's playing on both the top line and playing on the top power play. Look, I mean, he is not a complete hockey player, but what he does do is he shoots the puck, and he's really, really good at it. And so if someone from the Montreal side is going to score, I think it's going to be Hoffman.
Yeah. He's got 1 year left in his deal. My goodness. I need to just buy him out or get rid of him. That'd be great. He frustrates me. I can't watch him play. He frustrates me. Matheson, pretty good. We've been talking about him a lot, right? Just the minutes are there. Power play time. He's +130 for 3 shots today. I understand it's a tougher matchup here against the Bruins, but +130 for sure. Jake Allen been thrown to the Wolves. Yeah, no Josh Anderson for the rest of the year. I don't even know. Like, dude may have broke his leg. That was a nasty play by Sergachev, by the way. No call on that. Like, he slew-footed him. Where was the call? I don't understand it. Anyways, Anderson's probably done for the season. I'd say he's shut down for sure. He didn't make the trip. He's not going to play. I do like, Suzuki getting to play with Kirby Dach, so it could create a little bit of offense. Yeah, guys, I don't know. The 2.5, maybe. It's not really for me. Marchand loves to torture the Habs. The Habs love to torture Marchand as well. I'll never forget the PK Subban when he rocked him a few years ago. Marchand -110 for an assist. I don't mind that, but really good value on Patrice Bergeron for an Apple at +145, and he's -160 for an assist as well. So we'll move on from this game. I see you guys are all over it. We've been picking on the Habs, right? But don't be surprised, guys. The Habs have hung around with some teams. So not totally loving the 3.5. What else do we have here? Let's go to Philadelphia. We don't have board for the Flyers. They're at home, +135, and the Minnesota Wild at -150. It is Matt Boldy for me. Boldy, I would do a little sprinkle on a Boldy 2-0 game. You got Boldy over on your sheet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got Boldy. He looked really good on Tuesday. Watched as much of that game as I could. He looks like he's feeling it again. When a player like that is feeling it, you got to jump on it. He's at +190. And I got Ryan Hartman. He looked really good too, and has been centering that top line and playing on the top power play, which I like. Tons of opportunity and playing with some really good players. +205. Philadelphia side, we got Tippett shooting the puck like a lunatic, right? Like, I mean, he's not getting to go a lot, but offensively, he's the spark plug for this team. Young guy, decent skater, can really shoot the puck and likes to shoot the puck. So I love that. Playing on the top line and on the top power play in the shooting position, +160. And I'm going to JVR. He's had a sneaky, pretty good year. I still can't believe that he wasn't traded at the deadline. +275. I don't know if you've been following and heard any of the news out of Philadelphia. That place is a disaster. They got all these Bobby Clark and all these like legacy players, Holmgren, legacy GM and coach, and they were advisors. And basically the GM there has been listening to them for years and decided not to listen to them anymore, and fired Chuck Fletcher and hired Danny Briere and didn't ask anybody for permission. So it's War of the Worlds over in Philadelphia. They're going to get worse before it gets better, I believe. And I can't think of the name of the GM there, or the owner there right now, or the guy, the hockey operations person. They said it on a podcast yesterday I was listening to. Anyways, he shot his shot. He said, I'm not listening to Bobby Clark. I'm not listening to Paul Holmgren. I'm not listening to those guys. I'm firing Chuck Fletcher, and I'm hiring Danny Briere, and we're going for it. So it's got to be a weird position for Danny Briere to be in.
He's got very little experience for sure. If I were the Flyers, I mean, they did good on the Claude Giroux trade. And if you're the Panthers, you're like, oh my goodness, we traded Owen Tippett away for 5 games of Claude Giroux. But I would be trading everybody. I'd be trading Provorov. I would be trading. I mean, Couturier, unfortunately for him, he just has not been able to stay healthy. I'd be trading.
He was skating.
Konechny. I would trade Konechny too. I would trade absolutely everybody on that squad, maybe even Carter Hart. I know you have to have some pieces in play. You have to have some. You have to build around some things, but they're so far, like, not even close to the right path that I would
Too
just
many
be
bad
trying
deals.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, Bobby Clark too with the Nolan Patrick over Kill McCarr when he's talking about how his scout said Kill McCarr, Kill McCarr, Kill McCarr. Everybody said Kill McCarr, and then they draft Nolan Patrick. It was like behind the back of like all the scouts, and they went that way. Even the Braden Shen trade was an awful trade. They were in on O'Reilly, just brutal. The Flyers are pathetic. I'm not going to pick any of their goal scorers because the Wild just don't give up goals. I wouldn't be shocked if JVR or Tippett scored a goal, but I like Minnesota here at minus 155, and I like the under 6. And I do like Boldy. I'm surprised. Minus 160 for a point. I know it's steep, but like that's a parlay I'm starting to brust. Boldy, like right there. I'll probably do like a 6-leg point parlay. Get crazy. Maybe you can do a 4-leg and still get good odds. Those are two guys that I would start with. And I do like Boldy over 3.5 shots at plus money. I'm only seeing that over at BetMGM right now, plus 115. He's plus 140 for an Apple. He's got like a 6 or 7 game point streak here, right? 6 game point streak. He's got 3 multi-point games over that span, 4 goals in his last 2, 6 over his last 6, 11 shots over his last 2. He's been great. Marchand Marchand for 2 points is 3-1. Interesting. What's going on here? I think that top line is going to be great tonight. I think all 3 of those guys, Bergeron, Marchand, and DeBrusque could get a couple. Yeah, Hartman is a good play. Hartman's a good pickup. Wild got a good schedule here over the next 2 weeks for the fantasy hockey players out there. Hartman, is he 2.5 shots? He has been for a little bit. I know he didn't have a shot in the last game, but it was a tougher matchup against the Devils. Hartman, check the prop shop here. Yeah, 2.5 minus 125. That's pretty good. Not bad. Like it, Adam. And I could see him scoring. I think the Wild get it done here. 3-1. Minnesota gets it done. And they don't give up a lot of goals. Playing really good hockey, too.
I'm on Minnesota, too.
Yeah. I think he can even maybe flirt with them to win in 60, but it does get a little dicey because they don't score a lot of goals. Okay. Let's continue. Where should we go? This is a good one. Pittsburgh and Dallas. Jason Robertson. I need Robertson. I got a finals seat in the Underdog Fantasy. Actually, a draft that you and I did. On this show, or I'm pretty sure it was on this show or on Mean Streets. I made it to the finals. I got a 1 in 46 chance to take down 10K. It is best ball, so it'll take my top 2 centers, my top 2 wingers, defensemen, and goalies. And Robertson is one of my guys. Connor McDavid as well. I was pretty happy with the overtime goal he had last night. Did you see it when he had the breakaway? Man, Leon Draisaitl was fantastic last night. 4 apples, and they're all beautiful assists.
Yep.
He set up McDavid, and McDavid did the move and hit the post, then smashed his stick on the boards twice, almost broke it. And then 2 seconds later, he gets the play continues in Arizona's own end, and he gets the breakaway, pulls off the exact same move, but this time finishes. But imagine if he would have broke his stick and he wouldn't have been able to get that breakaway. But Pens pulled off a big victory last night against Colorado. Sid the Kid. Did you see that backhand goal from Crosby?
Crazy.
He's got a better backhand than most people have a wrister.
Yeah, I mean,
his blade's like this.
It shouldn't surprise anybody. Like, Penguins have been bad for a couple months. They're hanging on to a playoff spot because they still have good players: Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Gensel, Rust. And here they come. Sidney Crosby's in playoff mode. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, tonight, what you got?
I'm going Crosby and Malkin. These are 2 guys that, like, when they need to be the players that they are, it seems to happen, and it's been that way for a decade. If you watched any parts of the game last night, you saw Crosby basically just take the game over. I know that he is more of a distributor, but sometimes when he's feeling it, I mean, he's still one of the best players in the world, and it's awesome to see. So, yeah, I'm going Crosby and Malkin. On the Dallas side, I'm going Robertson, and I'm going Wyatt Johnson. He's been really good for them, man. He's plus 300 too, which I like those odds. Playing in that center in that second line and playing on the second power play in a shooting position. So He's a guy that they've really started to trust in Dallas, and he's looked really good over the last month or so.
Yes, he has been. Daddy, our guy, Dodonov. I like him.
He's looked really good there too. That was a good grab by them. And Max Domi. They're both playing important minutes, right? Those were two really savvy moves by Dallas.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of cup futures. I have the Kings at 45-1 from the start of the season, the Rangers at 18-1 from the start of the season. But I recently got involved with the Dallas Stars at 18-1. I really liked those moves too. They're not a one-line team anymore. You know, Jamie Benn's been playing good. Wyatt Johnson's a really nice young player. If you've watched him, I mean, he drives offense. He's really good. And Dodonov is, you know, he's experienced. I think he's got a 40-goal campaign on his resume. It's not the same player he was with the Panthers. He was a letdown in Ottawa. He's a letdown in Montreal, but he's got some experience. It just gives him some stability up and down. And Sagan could return this week. Sagan and Domi, a little bit of something on the third line. I really like this Stars team to make some noise. The West is wide open. The West is wide open. The Avs are going through something, you know, some injuries. A lot of guys can't stay healthy. Of course, they're going to be the team to beat in the West, but I really do like Dallas with Jake Ottinger and net. I think it's at 18-1 is a pretty good bet. And I like them tonight too. You know, hard fought game last night. Pittsburgh looked really good. You know, going to turn to Casey DeSmith and Dallas at home. I like the Stars to pull this one out. I would go with Hintz for a goal. Robertson's always in play. I got Dadonov for a point, Dadonov for a point at plus 110 over at PointsBet, our friends. Plus 110. He's actually plus 200 for an Apple as well. And I wouldn't put him into that parlay with points. Maybe I'll do you'll do an 8-leg parlay. Maybe I'll do an 8-leg point parlay. Having some success. This is 7 for 7 the other day. That was a pretty good one. I wouldn't put Dadonov on there, but I'd put Hintz. Hintz at minus 170. You know, you can't take it as a single, but you can put it into a parlay. Always like Hintz for shots too. Yesterday was a 2-game slate. Do you know what we gave for picks? Jason Zucker over 2.5 hits. 2.5 hits. That's how hard up we got last night. He did it.
Yikes. He did it.
3 hits. He's good in a bangers league. Kings 850 to win the West. I really want to talk about LA. Let's go there. Do we have an LA board? The Kings are in action tonight, right? They are. There's so many hockey games here. The LA Kings. Oh, they're not. I've really wanted to talk about the Kings. Maybe we can for a second. LA 850 to win the West. Really like the direction. You know, talked off the top about the teams in the division playing really good. You know, LA and Vegas playing really good hockey. But I looked since February 1st, this LA team, the third fewest goals at 5-5 per 60 allowed, getting some goaltending. Korpisalo is a nice get. Man, Quick's playing awesome in Vegas. It's crazy. Yeah. They allowed the fewest shots, the third fewest shot attempts. They really control play. It looks like potentially they could play Edmonton again. They went the distance with the Oilers last time around, 7 games. Maybe they learned a thing or two from that series. You know, if there's a healthy Kevin Fiala, adding a little bit more firepower to that squad as well. Good down the middle. Kopitar, Denos had some success in the playoffs, shutting down some really good players. Still wonder about their defense, but man, they got 3 lines that can come at you in waves. I think the Kings are a nice little sneaky little bet there for you. Diehard MMA podcast. Actually, there's Adam Redcamp, but maybe Diehard will get in on it as well. Jimmy Ben plus money for over 2.5 shots, says Bingham. He's gone over that 4 of his last 5. Yeah, he's been pretty good shooting the puck quite a bit. So I like the Stars here tonight on home ice. Let's continue to roll through. We have another matchup here between the Rangers and the Hurricanes. These two teams played the other day. We have Carolina at home, and the total is 6, and they're minus 140 at home, and the Rangers are checking in at plus 128. Rangers scoring a lot of goals. The 5-5 metrics been pretty awful. Like, they haven't been good. At 5-5, they're giving up a lot of quality chances here and there, but they do have a lot of firepower offensively. Whew, should be a good one. What do you make? What do you got over there?
Yeah, it was a really fun game the other day. 2, teams are just playing really well. Carolina, obviously, missing Pacioretty. I talked about it on Tuesday. Missing these guys that can just score, but they need people like Marty Netches, like Taro Teravainen, like Sebastian Aho to start shooting the puck and start scoring goals. The Rangers, they get Kane, they get Tarasenko. seemed like Kane, after coming over there, and then all of a sudden they go on this losing streak, and everyone's like, oh, they messed up the chemistry. Now they're scoring like 6 and 7 goals a night, and the Rangers they're loaded, man, just absolutely loaded. Great players at every position, and one of the best goaltenders in the league. I'm not betting against them. I think the Rangers win again tonight, and I've got Panarin and Kane to score. I know, normally are set up guys, but they're both feeling it right now. And the puck is on their stick a lot of the time. So I like them to score. And on the Carolina side, I'm going Netchas, and something I don't do often, but Brett Burns has been shooting the puck a lot, and a lot of goals for Carolina come on the back end. I would say, not looking at the stats right now in front of me, but I would say probably the most goals scored from the defense from any team in the league right now would probably be Carolina.
Yeah, 6% of their goals from their defenseman is number one in the NHL. Brady Shea has 3 goals in the last 4. They get a lot done from their back end. There's no question. Brady Shea's got 9 shots. I was actually looking at his shot prop this morning, but I was like, can I do that? I don't know if I can do Brady Shea. A little revenge spot for him. Yeah, he's plus 120 for 3 shots. He's got 9 in his last 2 games. He's cleared 2.5 in 3 of his last 5. These two teams are very different, though. Like, the Rangers have a lot of offensive firepower, but they're just brutal at 5-5 hockey. Like, they don't have great metrics, and Carolina is really good at 5-5. We saw the Hurricanes win this matchup on Tuesday. It was a 3-2 victory. I'm kind of with you in New York, maybe getting this one. I am. We've talked about Carolina, I think, too much, but I would not be shocked if this team got bounced in the first round. If they played a hot Islanders team and a good goalie in Ilya Sorokin who can overtake a game, overtake a series. We've seen really good goalies in the past do that. Halak comes to mind with the Canadians. You can go all the way back to J.S. Jaguar with the Ducks and the run that Anaheim went on, really just on his shoulders. So good goaltending can take you a long way into the playoffs, and I'm a little worried about this offense from Carolina. There's not a lot that I actually like in this matchup, but I have been going to Tarasenko. I don't think we'll see a ton of offense here, but Tarasenko at plus 110 for a point. They've been messing around with their top 6, but this is a guy that, has been hitting the score sheet. He's got 4 points in his last 5 games, 5 shots against the Hurricanes, 17:44 he played, which was the most he had played this month. So maybe a little bit that he can piggyback off of that previous game. Score prediction? I say like 3-2 Rangers.
Yeah, that's probably what I would say. 3-2 Rangers. I think this will be a good game. I will watch as much as possible. With 12 games, you're going to miss something. But a lot of times, because I'm insane, I will record games that I really want to see and watch them later, or watch them in the middle of the night, or watch them early in the morning, because I am nuts.
You are nuts. You know why you're nuts? Because you like the Leafs. Leafs and Panthers, Florida here at home. Matthew Tkachuk, Austin Matthews. We have a total of 7. What happened the other night? Didn't get to watch it. Islanders spanked the Leafs. What's going on there? I know that they got O'Reilly to fix that bottom 6 up, but that bottom 6, like, there's some guys that are scoring. Calle Yarncrock's been great. I kind of like him tonight to pick up a point, maybe score a goal. In a total of 7, your boy. But man, when Matthews and Tavares and Marner are off the ice, this team is getting worked over. Can't really trust the Panthers. Don't really want to say over 7, is a strong bet, but wouldn't be shocked. We saw Florida and Montreal play the other day, and there were 10 goals scored in the first period of that game. Florida, that was an NHL record. That was madness. I was flying, and then I got off the flight, and I was just like, 7-3? What the hell? The Habs had 3 goals in their first 3 shots, and it's 7-3. Yeah, that was an NHL record. 10 goals in the first. We're going to see all kinds of offense in this game, right? There's no Samsonov. Yep. Is Murray playing between the pipes?
I believe so.
Yikes! We could break the record tonight. It could be 11 goals in the first. You got 17 goal scorers over there.
Oh, I got 4.
That's it.
I would bet on more, but I like to pick 2 from each team and spread it around a bit. I think Toronto wins tonight. On the road, I think I got Matthews at -120 and Nylander at plus 125. Nylander is having the best career of best season of his life, and not talked about enough. He's in the shadow of both Matthews and Marner. Marner is one of the best hockey players, period, in the NHL. He's such a good player, so smart, good in every situation, kills penalties, like plays in the power play, 5-on-5, he's good, responsible all over the ice, always has the puck, such a pleasure to watch. On the Florida side, I've got Tkachuk and Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe, I feel like he scores every time he plays the Leafs. It's like a weird revenge game for him. And Tkachuk is, dude, he's been unbelievable all year. Just such a great player. I thought maybe would take a step back going to Florida, not playing with Lindholm and, whatever the case may be. But I didn't think that he would be better in Florida. I don't know why I thought that. That just was my gut feeling. I thought that Calgary won that trade. And judging by this year, I was very, very wrong. Huberdeau looks awful in Calgary.
This doesn't look like a good fit.
It doesn't look like a good fit. Statistically, he had over 100 points last year. Is he even going to have 40 this year? Right? Like it's very bizarre.
I know. And he didn't play all of his hockey with Barkov. It's not like it was just all Barkov. But even Kadri. Kadri hasn't really been impressive at all. Flames have been very, very underwhelming. Yeah. I thought maybe I liked their squad more. As much as losing Tkachuk and Johnny Hockey, I thought maybe they were deeper down the middle, and they really are deep down the middle.
I like them more.
Tkachuk and Backlund.
Yep.
But man, they can't get a save for one. No. I think we're going to see some offense here, guys. I know some guys are running off some stats here in the chat, but Calle Yarncroc is plus 110 for a point. He's plus 220 for an assist. That'd be, I guess we can call him a sneaky goal scorer. You've been all over him. He had 2 goals against the Sens. He's got 17 goals on the season. He's got 3, 4, 5 here in the month of March. He's got 6 points over his last 5 games. So for him to hit the score sheet is nice. Oh, this is great news. I missed him at Capital One Arena. I think that's the biggest thing for Washington. Losing John Carlson.
Oh, wow.
Back tonight here, full send on the Capitals. Not great for my Rasmus Sandin shares. He's going to lose probably top power play time now. He was logging a lot of ice time. He's looking pretty good, picking up the point here and there. Yeah, Austin Matthews is shooting again. He leads the Leafs by far over the last 2 weeks with 30 shots. Next closest guy is William Nylander, 3-4-5-5-5, 8-4-4-8 for Austin Matthews. But I do believe he is at 4 in a lot of spots. Yeah, plus 125 for 5 shots. It is asking a lot. But one, prop, like Matthews shouldn't be plus 100 for an assist. I get it. He's a goal scorer. But the guy's got 3 assists in his last 2 games. He's had an assist in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of 10 and 5, 6, 7, 8 assists over that span. A total of 7 where we think there's going to be some offense. Like, don't you agree that this is going to be like a 5-3, 5-4 game? Don't you feel like there's going to be a lot of
it very easily could be. Someone earlier, I can't remember, in the chat put up that the Maple Leafs held Florida to 19 shots last time they played. I think everybody, it's lazy, it's lazy analysis by people that are on TV and people that are prominent. The reality is the Maple Leafs defensively are one of the best teams defensively in the league. They're in the top 10, right? Like, it's not the Maple Leafs of the last few years where they just run and gun. They play at a slower pace. They hold the puck, they carry the puck, and their defensive numbers, especially it says pressing shots, is way, way up. Austin Matthews leads the league in blocks.
Yeah, but who cares?
Hello? Leads the league in blocks.
I don't. It's so weird to me. When I tweeted out something about Matthews and McDavid a month ago, and all the Leafs fans came at me and said, well, what about Matthews plus minus? Well, what about the fact that he leads the NHL in blocks? Who cares about that? I would trade in the blocks for the assists. Do you want your star player pinned in his own zone, blocking shots?
No, I definitely don't want that. And I would rather him not lead in blocks, but I think it's proof of concept where Sheldon Keefe is trying to get these guys to play
Yeah, he's got he's a 200-foot player, Matthews.
Yeah, and so is Marner and even Nylander, right? These are guys that were just offensive guys, and they're just going to put up stats, and they're not interested in back checking and playing defense, and they're all doing that. And the proof is in the pudding. That makes them a harder team to play against. If you can limit the freewheeling Florida Panthers to 19 shots, you're doing something right. Like they're still a team that plays with the pedal pressed, right?
Yeah, George. Chris would dunk on Matthews even if he became the king of England. I think Matthews is a great player. I think he's fantastic. I think he's arguably the best goal scorer in the NHL. Like, there's no question. But this time last year, people were actually comparing Connor McDavid to Austin Matthews. And believe it or not, Austin Matthews went ahead of Connor McDavid in fantasy hockey drafts. So,
right.
Yikes. Anyways, the Leafs over the last 2 months, I mean, they're inside the top 10 in allowing shot attempts. This is a team inside the top 12 in shots allowed at 5-5 per 60, expected goals against. So their 5-5 play actually hasn't been that great over the last month, but I do believe we're going to see a lot of offense. So let's wrap up from this game. Matthews assist prop plus 100. I think he can get involved with like a 2-point night for Matthews and Marner. Love the William Nylander call. I think he scores as well. I have Willie down here on the list. And I mean, I've just been going over Haggy every single show. I try to get too cute and it's like, oh, plus 200 for an assist. And then he just scores. He doesn't get any assists. All the guy does is score goals. I like Verhaeghe shots. And I like Marner shots too, actually. This game's going to be really fun. Yeah, it's funny to say they missed Ryan O'Reilly. They only had him for a minute. But that's the guy that they really do need to make a push in the playoffs, right? They brought him in for the playoffs as a third line center. And away we go. Let's move on. Florida can't play on the road when they're at home. They're at Coors Field, the NHL. That's a really good comparison. That is absolutely spot on, Adam. I love it. For those that don't know, Coors Field in Colorado, Mile High, offense galore. Totals are extremely through the roof. Like baseball totals are like 7.5, 8.5, 9. Colorado's like 11.5, 12.5, and it usually gets over that number as well. So really good comparison there between Florida at home and Colorado Rockies at home as well. It's gonna be a rough year for the Rockies. What else do we have here? Ottawa and Tampa. Brady Tkachuk, and we got Brendan Hagel. There's a lot of point props that I like. Hagel is one of them. I have a few more here that I like that it's like decent prices that you can take as, just singles. Hagel is minus 120 for a point over at PointsBet, our friend, actually over at DK and BetMGM as well. Just on that top line, I just feel like in a matchup against the Sens where they haven't really gotten any good goaltending, and, for Brendan Hagel, he's got 2 3-point games over the last 5. He had a 6-point streak there over a 3-game point streak. He had 6 points. He had the hat trick against the Habs. He's got 12 shots over his last 3 games. I think he scores tonight. You can get it at plus 190 for him to score, but minus 120 is a pretty decent bet for him to just hit the score sheet in general. He's plus 170 for a point as well. And then Brady Tkachuk, right? Tkachuk's on the board. Love Brady, love Stützle, but Tkachuk is just a shooting machine. No matter the matchup, this guy just loves to shoot the puck. He parks his butt right in front of the net on the power play. Deflections. He's really good, man, at deflecting pucks towards the goal. He's had at least 5 shots in 4 straight, 6, 6, 8, and 5. He had 6 against the Bruins, so don't worry about the matchup. He had 8 against the Leafs, 6 against the Bruins, and 5 against the Avs. So don't worry about the matchup here against Tampa Bay. It is a little juiced. I don't love the 4.5 at plus 125, but I do like maybe putting into a parlay at 3.5 if we can get there. What do you think?
I think Tampa Bay wins this. They have been rocky, right? The last couple of weeks, weird. Vasilevsky letting in goals that you don't normally see him, but I think they win here tonight. Ottawa is out. I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs. I still like watching them play. They're a fun team. But I've got Point and Stamkos scoring on the Tampa Bay side, and Ottawa, I'm going to Tkachuk and Batherson. Batherson's been really buzzing. He played on the game on Tuesday. I watched a bunch of it. He was showing up on my screen, just kind of really dictating play and just really, really skating and forechecking and doing the things that they need him to do to be an effective player. So I like Batherson to score tonight as well.
Yeah, he's a good player, and I like when he's playing with Stützle and Brady. So yeah, I see a lot of people here talking about the 4.5. Bet Rivers has the 3.5, but 4.5 is a little much. Maybe Stützle at 3.5 at plus 120, and heck, maybe even Batherson. Right, Batherson is a guy that can shoot the puck if you're looking for some shot props there. I like Braden Point, our guy Braden Point. He's minus 110. It's a pretty good price. I know sometimes Point doesn't shoot the puck. Like there's so many times this year where he has 2 shots and 2 goals, and you'd think that he'd get that third shot. But minus 110 for 3 shots for Braden Point is pretty good. Don't know who is in net, actually. Not seeing it just yet. Ferguson did have an amazing game against the Pens there the other day. He is currently out with a non-COVID illness. I don't think either of these guys are good. Excuse me, to be honest. Sogard is a massive body. He is a huge human in between the pipes. Ferguson, not bad either. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3". Ferguson's a former... What's that? It's Sogard?
Sogard is listed as likely on left wing lock. Goalie starts have been wild this year. I mean, I can't remember. It looks like that, someone's going to start and then last minute it switched. And so it's, keep an eye on that. But I think it'll be Sogard. But I think Tampa wins this game pretty handedly. They need to get going again.
Yeah, I think they do as well. Nice game from Ferguson. I'm not really, but I mean, he's a 7th round pick. Not saying that a 7th round pick can't be good in the NHL, but I don't think he's that great. Braden point emoji from our guy George. He's not betting on Braden Point, but 44 goals on the season. He could get 50. He's right there. McDavid last night, goal 59 and 60. This guy's might get 70. Unbelievable stuff. 4 shots in his last game, but before that, he was very, very quiet. But I do like the spot here. One more before we say goodbye to Game Plus Network. Let's head on over to Calgary. The Flames had a really good game in Vegas not too long ago, a place where they really struggle, but they were able to come away with a victory. Mikael Backlund just continues to be fantastic this year. A really strong breakout campaign from 17 goals. He's got 32 helpers. That matchup in Vegas was a 7-2 victory by Calgary, and then they went on to lose to Dallas and lose to LA 8-2. They beat the Ducks 5-1 the other day, but who cares? It was the Ducks. I like the Golden Knights. I think the Flames are going through something. They're just not consistent enough. They just really aren't consistent enough for me to put my hard-earned bucks down on this Flames team. But I do like Backlund, man. It's tough not to get behind him to like hit the score sheet. This is a guy that's hit the score sheet in 6 of his last 8 games. And yeah, I think we're going to see Thompson. So Matthew is talking about Thompson, Brossoit, both traveling with the team. Curious to see what pecking order. I mean, there's no chance they go Brossoit over Thompson, in my opinion. Like, Thompson was playing really good hockey. He's a much better goalie than Laurent Brossoit, but both guys are activated, and Thompson backed up quick the other night. So I think we'll see him on this road trip, whether it's tonight in Calgary or Saturday in Edmonton. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I know he hasn't played for quite some time, but he's a good goalie and a goalie that I really believe in. I like Vegas here to win the game. I like Jack Eichel as well as score a goal.
Yeah, I like Vegas to win here tonight. I got Eichel and Riley Smith, a favorite of mine, a guy that just kind of steady and gets it done, playing important minutes for them. And on the Calgary side, I'm going to Foley and Lindholm.
Yeah, Lindholm's been quiet, eh?
He's been quiet.
It's disappointing. Yeah, very disappointing run here for Lindholm over the last little bit. I mean, a couple goals lately. He's actually, he's kind of picked it up. My bad. He's got a 4-game point streak. He's got 6 points over that span. So he's kind of picked it up a little bit, but he went through a really quiet spell there for the Flames. I like Riley Smith let's ride this one out, right? Rank cap. Riley Smith for a point here. Can ride that one out. He is plus 105 to pick up a point. Eichel shots down to 2.5. It's the matchup against Calgary. I was going to say that. He had a matchup against the Flames. Some of these guys come down. He was 2.5 the other day as well. Jack Eichel didn't get it. It was against the Canucks. I think he was stuck on 2. Didn't get it. But I do like the 2.5. We're going to say goodbye to Game Plus Network. Appreciate you guys as always. Hopping over to our FTN Network YouTube page to check out the rest of the show. We're going to have an 8-leg parlay. We're going to have a goal parlay and a point parlay. And we're going to wrap up some of the picks and sides and totals and things like that. FTNbets.com/free, FTNdaily.com/free. Good luck on the ice. We'll be back on Tuesday. Cheers. All right. We probably got another 5 games here to rapid fire through. Let's see. Chicago and Washington. Capitals -235. Chicago checking in at +215. And we hear the John Carlson news. That is great news. If he's hanging around your waiver wire, it's possible. Potentially somebody may have dropped him. It'd be a nice get to pick up here for your stretch run. Really like Strome lately. Strome stood out to me in the game that I watched live between the Capitals and the Blues. You know, they're given an opportunity to play with Ovechkin. They're given an opportunity to play on the top power play. I really like Strome, not to score, but as a guy that I think he can hit the score sheet tonight, maybe pick up an apple, pick up an assist. What do you have over there?
I got Washington winning this one for sure. Ovi and Oshie to score. Pay attention to the thing. Like Ovi was asked about Dylan Strome. He said he loves playing with him. And when you hear that, you got to be all over this guy. That means that he's going to play with the best shooter in the league. And Strome has always kind of been a distributor. Doesn't have a ton of foot speed, but a really smart player and has good vision and is very good with the puck on his stick. So I like the Strome call. I don't have him to score, but I got Ovi and Oshie. On the Chicago side, it's an absolute tire fire there. They're a brutal team, and we're not going to get into the political side of the not wearing the jerseys and all this other crap. They're a mess, and they don't seem to want to get better. So, but I'm going to say Reichel playing on the top line and playing on the top power play. Tons of opportunities for these younger kids because there's nobody left. No Tays, no Kane. All the players are gone. So I like Reichel at +300 and Athanasio at +265.
Good on you to pick some Hawks. I will not pick any Hawks, but I wouldn't be shocked. The Capitals just gave up a bunch of goals to the Blue Jackets. So, they could give up a couple goals to Chicago. But for Strome, I think 1.5 shots at -150. It's pretty steep for a single, but I think he can put that into a parlay. The guy's got at least 2 shots in 4 straight games, and he's -130 for a point. He's +135 for an assist. I like Ovechkin for a 2-point night. It's probably one of my favorite plays. He's +170 to have a 2-point night against this team called the Chicago Blackhawks. So Ovechkin, past couple games, real nice for him. He's got a 5-game point streak. He had 3 points, 2 goals against the Wild. He's got 2 multi-point games in his last 4. So I think he can get it done. He's got up to 40 goals now. He's a guy that can. What are we doing? Revenge here? Who's got the revenge? I don't know what you guys are talking about here. Can't keep up. Barrett Hayton. Adam Rathkamp. The boys are just talking Barrett Hayton, right? The guy's a superstar. Put him on your fantasy hockey trophy when you win. Because he's top 15 fantasy hockey player over the last month.
Good player,
Barrett Hayton. Right? Okay. Yeah, I agree. Caps win. Can we get in 60? I think this is one that we might be able to get some decent odds to win in 60. Let's see quickly. Washington, -165. It's not great. But Wilder +100 to win in 60. I can kind of get behind that one. All right. Blues and Red Wings. Detroit at -125. St. Louis at +112. Our free bet of the day is a Jacob Vrana shot prop at over 2.5. I like Jacob Vrana for a point as well. So his shot prop is 2.5, I believe. It may have changed since this morning. Let me double check. Oh yeah, it's changing. It was -105. It's now -120 at BetMGM, -125 at DraftKings. He is -105 for a point. He's +265 for an assist. He's got 5 goals and 6 points in 8 games, had at least 3 shots in 5 of those 8 games. He just played the Red Wings, his former team, on Tuesday, plays them again tonight, had 5 shots in that game. He's moving up and down the lineup. That's right. Dylan Strome revenge game against the Hawks. That's right. I forgot about that. So Vrana, he was playing with Kyrou a little bit, the game that I saw live. And then to start on Tuesday, now they got him penciled in on the third line with Saad and Shen. I still think that's okay. He's averaging 2 more minutes per game with the Blues than he did with the Red Wings. Fun revenge narrative, of course. Detroit, this is a team that's allowed, I think, 5 goals in like 6 of their last 10 or 11 games. So I think Vrana hits the score sheet, but I really like his shot prop at 2.5. So that's my player here tonight, a guy that I really like in this game. What you got?
Yeah, I was all over him on Tuesday. He was my lock to score. Broke our streak.
Chances.
Yeah, dude, I thought he almost had one in overtime, and I like jumped up. I watched a lot of that game, which is weird because I mean neither team is very good, and they're not playing for anything. But man, it was physical. It was a really fun hockey game, and I think tonight will be fun as well. I'm going Kyrou at 145. He's their best player and is starting to play accordingly. You know, this is a guy that me and you have loved for years, right? Like you're just waiting for him to put it all together, and it feels like it's starting to happen. And I'm going Buchnevich, centering the top line and the top power play. Really good player, sneaky good player, and a guy that I've liked for a long time. I thought it was a really good move for St. Louis to get him. Obviously, this is not the year for St. Louis, but I think they will restock, replenish, and re-go again. And I got a sneaky feeling about Binnington tonight. Not a guy that you can trust, but coming off a suspension, with this guy feels pressure, that's when he's at his best, and he's going to feel it tonight. So I really like Binnington tonight in that.
Are they rolling him out? Just sit him on the bench. Don't even.
That's what it's showing for me. And left wing lock has got him.
Little Hall of Famer, HOFER, with a name like that. Geez, he might be on the way to the Hall of Fame. He was fantastic, Adam, by the way. When I watched your Blues in Washington, Kyrou was the best player on the ice, not even close. Vrana stood out to me. Buchnevich was pretty filthy, right? Patience with the puck, terrific passer. But, man, strong goaltending in that game for sure. I'd put Binnington on the bench for a little bit, put him in timeout.
And that could happen, but left wing lock hasn't projected to start. I mean, they've been wrong a bunch, so we'll see.
4 goals against or penalty minutes for Binnington from Matthew.
Well, never a dull moment when he plays, that's for sure. The Detroit side, I got Larkin and Alex Chiasson.
Oh, wow. There
Dude,
you go.
He's scored like every game since starting with Detroit and is in the shooting position on the top power play. Playing on the third line, but dude, he's a good player.
He's bounced around a lot. He's played with some really good players, but like the teams that he's bounced around with, you know, he's been given opportunities to play on that top power play. Remember in Vancouver, top power play, Oilers top power play. So like he's a good power play guy, but yeah, if anyone's going to score here on the wings, it is Larkin, right? I mean, Lucas Raymond's, as we said earlier, Raymond, a bit of a setback here this year, maybe the sophomore slump, I don't know. But Lucas Raymond and then Andrew Kopp's been disappointing, but Larkin's a guy that just shoots the puck so much, right? Over 200 shots for him. So Adam loves that call as well. Everybody loves the Larkin call there. That guy is one of the best power play goal scorers in the last 10 games. Loves the call. So yeah, let's go. Vrana 2.5 shots, Vrana for a point, and I think you can have some fun with like a same game parlay in there as well. It was a 3-2 game, but I do believe we'll see some offense. Maybe a little bit more than the 5 goals there. Your Preds dogs at home +110, and the Kraken checking in at -129. It took them a long time, but McCann finally moved to 3.5 shots. That was a fun ride, wasn't it, guys? It was a fun ride. I still see 2.5 over at Bet Rivers. What a steal. DraftKings and BetMGM has him at 3.5 +125, both books. Unibet and Bet Rivers has Jared McCann at 2.5 at -125. I don't know what else we need to say about this guy. Everybody's been following along. We all love Jared McCann. He's having a great season, 34 goals. Last year flirted with that number as well. Last couple games, 4 shots, 3, 8, and 5. 0 against Dallas, but before that, 6, 3, 6, 4, 5. So this guy is cleared in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of his last 10 games. A 2.5 minus 125. Probably one of my best shot props here tonight. And I was going to say it. And I knew, and I have a feeling, Adam, that EY was going this way as well. He better be on your list or I'd be disappointed. Tolvanen is scoring a goal tonight in Nashville, and there's no question about it.
You guys know me too well. I'm going Jared McCann and Eeli Tolvanen on the Seattle side. And I'm going Tomasino, who looked really, really good on Tuesday. And everyone here is talking about Luka Evangelista. Dude, he looks really, really good. These are two guys that are going to be very important players for them for the remainder of the season and going into the next season. I am rooting for the Predators to win. I think that Seattle probably wins this game. If I was to bet, that's what I would bet. But I will be cheering and rooting for the Predators, not mathematically eliminated, and somehow there's a real possibility of them making into the playoffs because the West it's nuts. Winnipeg doesn't want it. Calgary doesn't want it. Like it's just wild.
I think the Jets will find a way to get in.
I do too, but it hasn't happened yet.
No, it hasn't. And they have been playing pretty inconsistent. We were talking about them winning the division about a month and a half ago at 9-1.
Oh, how great Hellebuck was. They're rolling. They're first place in the Central. And take a look now. I mean, they're hanging on for dear life, and they're not winning a ton of games. It's like it's been a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the Winnipeg Jets this season. And they're Mr. Hyde right now at the most important time of the year. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
That's
the Kraken tonight.
Predators fan talk. So
love the Kraken tonight, minus 129. Adam says puck line. Yeah, they are really good on the road. Still no Yossi. It's tough for me to get behind Kraken puck line because they don't have any good goaltending. Like their goaltending is an issue. Joey Descartes played the other night for them. Just don't really like their options between the pipes, but I do like the money line play there, and I think that they get it done on the road. I think a couple more games here. Speaking of the Winnipeg Jets, they're on the road taking on the Ducks. I put this in the tracker last night. I'm pretty confident that the Jets are going to win here on the puck line. I think it was plus 115 I put in last night. Let's see what we can get. It's still got to be plus money. Yeah, plus 112 over at Bet Rivers puck line. Ducks. Right? Must win game. Let's not mess around here. I do like the Jets here to win on the puck line. Nino Niederreiter has been a little quiet, but after that, that hot start from Nino, he's getting points. I think he had like a 16-point streak, 6 in his first 7. He's still playing with good players, Pierre-Luc Dubois and Kyle Connor. He's minus 130 for a point. So it's another guy. I think this is like really good odds. This is the Ducks. We all know. I'm not breaking any news. This is a team that has allowed the most rubber, most shot attempts, highest expected goals against average, and goals against at 5 and 5 per 60. I think Winnipeg handles the Jets here. And Nikolai Ehlers, it's been a rough season for him. I know we've talked before about the ice time. I know you mentioned it in the last episode as well. When I joined Filipovich in the PDO podcast, we talked a lot about the ice time. He's such a good player, and goal scorers are so streaky in the NHL. He potted one the other night, and usually they just come in bunches, and I think he gets another one here tonight. So it's one of my favorite goal scorer calls here this evening, Ehlers.
Yeah, I called him to score on Tuesday. He played the role that he should play, but I mean, Winnipeg they're all over the place. I do believe that they win tonight. I will be cheering for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, which is a sad, terrible place to be. But Kyle Connor, it's a Kyle Connor show. I believe he scores. He's part of the 8-way Maniac parlay at the end of the show. Kyle Connor, Scheifele on the Anaheim side. I think Troy Terry's going to play. I know he got banged up the other night, but I think he's going to play. But I got him and McTavish.
What Connor, I know what we say, Kyle Connor, it's a Kyle Connor show. He's got 27 goals in the season. The guy's got 1 goal in the last month. and it hasn't come since February 28th.
He's been snake bit.
He's not even really shooting. Like, how do you get one shot against Arizona, 2 against the Blues, 2 against the Preds? He's just not even really, I don't know. He's going through something, but maybe it's just like Svechnikov. When we talked about Svechnikov, like, holy crap, he hasn't scored in a couple months. Like, this is a matchup for him where I expect him to excel. I expect him to have 5 to 7 shot attempts, him and Ehlers both. This is a good bet. It's always a good bet, Gibson, right? No matter who the opponent is, the Ducks just give up so much, and they've just kind of left him. They've left him in multiple times, allow 5 goals, 7 goals, right? Here and there. The Jets have not played well. Keep waiting on Connor to show up. Yeah, that's the thing, with Connor. I thought that they played okay against Arizona. Like the Coyotes have been playing really good hockey, but it's been inconsistent, right? You beat Florida, you beat Tampa, you lose to Carolina, you lose to Boston, tough matchups. You beat the Preds, you get shut out against the Blues in St. Louis, and then you just get by Arizona. But they do have some winnable games here coming up tonight against the Ducks. Tough one against LA, one in San Jose, in Detroit. They do have some winnable games coming up here, but I like Ehlers to score. He's got goals in 2 of his last 3, and I do like Kyle Connor to find the back of net. But Nito Niederreiter at -110 to pick up a point. Got to write that one down. And away we go. I think just one more game. Yeah, Jets are hanging on by a thread. They barely snuck that one out against the Yotes on Tuesday. Clearly the second best team on the ice in the second and third period. Offense is stuck in the mud. Yeah, maybe they can get going. If Connor gets going, maybe they can get going here. I think that they win tonight, guys. Against the Ducks. Come on. All right, San Jose and Vancouver, the last one. The Canucks are -165 at home, and the Sharks checking in at +145. I don't know what it is about books and just disrespecting Andrei Kuzmenko, but the guy should not be -125 for a point. What are we even doing here? The guy is a point-per-game player. The Sharks are pathetic. They give up a lot of rubber. They've traded a lot of their, not even a lot. They only had a couple good players, but they did trade some of those pieces away. Erik Karlsson continues to impress.
Insane.
He is a massive, massive favorite now to win the Norris. We have that at 28-1, and we are going to get that. We're going to get that. Just a beautiful goal the other day against the Oilers. I like Kuzmenko again. I'm just going to go with the point. I do like him to score, but at -125, I mean, how can we not do this? He'll seal the Norris Trophy tonight. Dude, I think he sealed it the other day.
You sealed it.
Yeah, stamp of approval maybe tonight against the Canucks. What do you like in this game?
I got my boy Barabanov at +220 and Logan Couture at 165 for the San Jose Sharks. And use the prop shop, guys. I mean, I live in a state where I don't get to choose. And if you do, prop shop is your friend. It is your beautiful, vibrant, and loyal friend. On the Vancouver side, Elias Pettersson at -110 and JT Miller at 155.
JT Miller at 155. Like it. Okay. I think we did it. I try to narrow down some of my plays so it's not too heavy here in terms of like 12 games, just so much going on. This is what I like for sides and totals here, and then we'll throw over you for some goals. So I like the Minnesota Wild on the money line at -155. I think in 60s in play at +100 if you wanted to go that route, but be cautious. They don't score a ton of goals. I like Matt Boldy to score a goal in that game, and I have a lean to the under. The Bruins, you guys want to do the -2.5. I'm not going to judge you on that one. I do like Jake DeBrusk to score a goal. I like a lot of different plays. I'll wrap it. I'll finish up with some like other props and shot props, but I do like Jake DeBrusk to score in that game. I like the Rangers to bounce back, but it's not one of my favorite plays outside of my top 5. But I do like the Rangers to win that game against the Carolina Hurricanes. I'd say the Leafs win against the Panthers. I could see it. I do have a lean to the over, even though it's 7 goals. I like the Lightning. I can't get like -141 for the Lightning here on the road. I don't care if it's Elliott or not. I'm going to back Tampa Bay with those odds on the road. I like Washington at home in 60. I like the Kraken is one of my favorite plays at -129. I like the Stars at -145 on home ice. I like the Golden Knights at +120 on the road. I like the Jets puck line at plus 105 against the Ducks. So those are the plays for me. I would rank them. Let's see. Winnipeg puck line, Dallas, Mini, Kraken, under Mini and Philly 6, and then Vegas. Little scores. What you got?
Here we go. Boldy, Hartman, Tippett, JVR, Hoffman, Kirby Doc, Pasta, Marchand, Reichel, Athanasiou, Ovi, Oshie, Panarin, Kane, Natchez, Burns, Point, Stamkos, Kachuk, Batherson, Matthews, Nylander, Kachuk, Verhaeghe, Kyrou, Buchnevich, Larkin, Chiasson, McCann, Tollivan, Tomasino, Evangelista, Crosby, Malkin, Robertson, Wyatt Johnson, Eichel, Smith, Toffoli, Lindholm, Connor, Scheifele, Terry, McTavish, Barabanov, Couture, Pedersen, and Miller. The 8-way Maniac Parlay goes as follows, guys. We're going to get one of these to go. It's fun. Don't do this, but take it as you will. I've been very close several times. We got Boldy, Pasta, Point, Matthews, Verhaeghe, Crosby, Robertson, and Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor is my lock. He will score tonight. It's a guaranteed.
All right. I like it.
Honorable mention to Brady Kachuk because I think he scores tonight too.
And Matthew says it is hitting tonight. I have a lot of the same ones. I'm going to give you guys 8 as well. Boldy, DeBrusk, William Nylander, Carter Verhaeghe, Ovechkin, McCann, Hintz, and Ehlers. Those would be my 8. I think there's good value on Bergeron assist plus 145, Yarncrook assist at plus 220, Matthews assist plus 100. I like Pettersson for an assist. I like Marchand for an apple. Some pretty good point props here. Kuzmenko minus 125, Nino Niederreiter minus 110, Vrana minus 105, Ovechkin for 2 points plus 170, Strome for a point minus 130, Hagel for a point minus 120, Yarncrook plus 100 for a point. I'd put in let's do an 8-leg point parlay. Let's do he's going lock. He's going lock, Kyle Connor. Here it is, the 8-leg point parlay. Let's do this one. Let's actually walk through this one together over at DraftKings and see what our odds could be. So let's go Boldy point. Let's go. This makes for a great. We're not live television anymore. Stick with us, guys. Let's see if this one hits. Been having some success with these, actually, believe it or not. Okay, DeBrusk, but you could do Marchand if you want. The odds are going to change a little bit. I'm fine with DeBrusk. DeBrusk, let's go Carter Verhaeghe. All that guy does is hit the score sheet. Let's bypass the Rangers and Hurricanes. Don't think we'll see a lot of offense. Let's go with in Tampa. Where's Braden Point? Check. Washington, let's go with Strome. Check. Vrana's a little dicey to put on it. McCann. Check. What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got let's get our guy Rupe Hinson here. Check. Let's go to let's go to Winnipeg. Kyle Connor's always at 1.5. I don't know why he's at 1.5. He's at 1.5 again. Where's Ehlers? Ehlers is hitting the score sheet here tonight. Check. And then let's put Kuzmenko on it. Oh, baby. What do we got here? This is a 9. This is a 9 pick. We may get a little crazy with the 9. 9. All these guys hit the. We got Boldy Point, DeBrusk, Verhaeghe, Point, Dylan Strome, Jared McCann, Rupe Hintz, Nikolai Ehlers, Andrei Kuzmenko. Who ruins that? Who ruins that one, guys? It may be Strome. That one pays 7-1. 7-1 over at DraftKings. You put down $5. You win yourself $385. Put down $10. Having a good night. $800 there. Oh, baby. Let's go. Okay. Shot props. DeBrusk, Hartman, Hintz, Point, Vrana, McCann. Really love the McCann one. And I do like Boldy in there as well. Lots of stuff. Lots of action. one of us going to hit those maniac parlays. Any final words?
Good luck, everybody. Lots of games. It's going to be a fun night of hockey. Really fun night of hockey. Let's go Preds.
Let's go Preds. If Meaney hits that one, he's going to enjoy some of those beautiful greens in Nova Scotia.
Oh, yeah.
Still a lot of snow on the ground here. I can't wait till it goes away. I can feel the spring kind of in the air. We're going to hit the links. Those greens are beautiful, and we're going to drink some vino, and we're definitely going to drink some vino and watch some hockey here tonight. Appreciate George, appreciate Fox, appreciate all you guys as well. The support that has been fantastic. Let us know, like the Canadian crew, you guys should get your shirts here any day. You should be getting those t-shirts.
I think I got a picture on Twitter of someone getting one today. So
beautiful. Love it. Okay, we're out of here. Good luck on the ice. Have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. Cheers.